of several mustache awards, Carlos, that's right, Richard, and the Concrete Man, Brandon the Hard Hat Mitchell, along with Sexy Man, Jimmy Orange Man Bad Preston. They were searching for a beer that doesn't suck, and every week they will pick a beer. But not all beers were created equal. That's why they created a very special scale. A scale from 1 to 5, that's right. Join them each week for the Brew World Order, Wednesdays, Channel 10 at 10 p.m. Rated R.
I don't hear my board, bro.
You are now listening to...
Oh, they're coming to rob us and rape us, and
That
they're
isn't, see,
coming.
I don't know where you're hearing that, but literally nobody's saying that.
I know English people that aren't supposed to be here, but I don't complain about them.
I'm not trying to out you, but I
get
want-
me in a gotcha moment.
No gotchas, because I do gotchas, but it's not a gotcha, okay?
I had an old buddy of mine that said, if you don't look down, it's not gay.
If you don't look down, not gay. Think what? You can have sex with the same dude. I mean, girl.
Stop it, please.
Right.
How many times do I have to call? These people should not be shopping at 3 a.m. out of a dumpster
Right.
filled with scrap metal.
But in the event of an emergency, your regular exit might not be the quickest or safest.
Hey! This emergency exit is painted on!
There's no way out! There's no way out! We're doomed!
That's right. This is what it used to sound like when worlds collide. Used to be finding common ground and trying to break the divide. This is Emergency Exit. This is episode 148. Today is March 22nd, 2020. We're in our floating tin can, far above the world. Sorry. I'm just not feeling too happy today. First of all, if you guys are watching us live, thank you. This is something we're going to be putting on for Wednesday night. So if you're watching this Wednesday night, we're on Facebook. You could check us out there if you want to. If you don't know, Jimmy left, and I feel like we're losing our sense of humor, or at least Jimmy starting to lose his sense of humor about things. But it's sad. We were all going to meet up today, and I asked if we could bring in a guy, Nick the Passion Rider, and simply asking really blew him up. And I was just like, why? We could take every precaution, sort of, if you will, sort of egging him on. I wasn't egging him on per se, but I was asking him extra questions he didn't want to answer, especially right when you wake up. And he was getting angry, and he quit, as he's threatened in the past to do. I'm airing all this dirty laundry because it's we normally have Jimmy here padding up a lot of the space of talking, but I'm pretty sad about the whole thing. I begged him, come on, man. Dude, our show is about trying to break the divide, and he's just done. He says he's done trying to understand me, or he thinks I'm always trolling, says I disrespect him. I guess you guys watch the show, and I don't know if you guys think I disrespect him at all, but he'll say he's got this persona on the air he doesn't have off the air, and it's like, to me, it's the same thing. Those are both the same thing and same guy. And he says my way is trolling, or at least I'm trolling all the goddamn time. And my eyes, that sounds like disrespect. I hope you call in today, Jimmy. I hope you're watching. He's probably done and doesn't even want to deal with it. And if you guys are hopping on because you guys are just gotten a notification from Jimmy to join the group, I hope Jimmy will come back. I hold high hopes that he will. He seems to be very upset about the coronavirus and spreading it to people. I get the concern, but I think he's been a little too irrational about it. I mean, this room isn't all that great and big, and I can understand maybe 4 people would be too much in here. We would take every precaution. We would Lysol down every microphone. We would wash our hands every 20 minutes. We would stop the cast so that we would go over there and wash our hands. Like I was talking about trying to be serious about it, and he thought it wasn't enough. He just doesn't want to try to transmit this disease at all. And I don't know if he's had a problem of doing that in the past, but I'm not trying to badmouth Jimmy at all. I want him to come back. And the idea of this show was to have 2 people that have different mindsets to try to find common ground. It's unfortunate that it has to stop, at least for now. We can't record live at the studio. Everything's on hold. Even my job, I always would say, it was recession-proof. Coffee's recession-proof. Well, not my company. We had to close down. And I'm upset about that too. So, I'm not crazy upset. Things will go on. I'm just not a doomsday guy. I don't think the world's going to end. I think things will work out in the end. And I'm just trying to be as relaxed and calm as I can. I used to lose my hair over, literally, I would have a patch in my head that would be bald because I stressed out way too much. And I decided to stop stressing out so much. And he's really let it go to him. And I get it, man, dude. It's stressful out there. Jimmy, I hope you're watching. I want you to call in. I want to take some questions. Let me get this going here. It's not a normal episode today. I don't think it'll ever be normal again after Jimmy leaves. And he's been on the show now. Let's see. He's been on the show for a while. And like we're talking about over a year. He was on the 50th show. I don't know. Do you guys have... I live in a whole world of, liberal stuff, and I don't let it get to me. I don't think that they're, ruining everything to the point where I need to be angry at all. For the most part, they leave me alone. That's what I want. Leave me alone about things. I won't bother you, you won't bother me kind of thing. Like if you have a noisy neighbor, do you call the cops, or do you just sort of... when next time you'll see them, you'll be like, hey, that was a little loud or something, or what do? I'm more like, I'll just avoid the situation completely. I don't want any sort of animosity. Jimmy was a good blend of commentary for this show. And, without him, it's going to be hard to fill. It's hard to fill Jimmy's shoes. That being said, you guys want to try to be on the show, we can talk off the air. He's really, really, and I get it. I think all you guys are upset about the coronavirus. He's upset that the president said Chinese coronavirus. And, sometimes we'll get little spats in our Facebook chat together, me, Brandon, and Jimmy. And he'll defend his wave so far, and I'll defend my wave, and it doesn't get anywhere. And we discussed this. We're talking about just like a month or 2 ago, we got really up to it with each other. Like, we're not changing each other's mind, it sounds like. But that was never the point, and we needed to get back to at least finding common ground and not holding animosity for each other. And, it's clear that there are people that think because you vote for somebody or some ideology, you are inherently evil, you're bad, you're wrong. But then that other side thinks the exact same thing. So who's actually right? That's the issue we're at. I think he feels that everything is right on his side, and you're wrong. You're wrong. You must be an idiot. When can we just get past that point where you don't think that I'm a stupid fucking moron? That the available information that you have is what I've read as well. We have a different way of interpreting it, I guess. You know, and it's not like this is anything different. It goes with Ukraine stuff too. Not the virus itself, but the outrage of just being angry. Oh no, you're wrong, absolutely wrong. There's no other way of seeing this. Trump pressured Ukraine. And it's like the same thing that's going with this coronavirus thing. It's like, no, if you're not practicing social distancing, like I get it, yeah. We're not practicing. I mean, we are sort of practicing it by taking every precaution and making a show so that we can put something on while people are sitting at home at a nice, decent time. Anyways, it's not many people watching, and it's because Jimmy is a big draw, I guess. Jimmy, I would like for you to at least give me a call so we can talk about this over the air. I mean, Jimmy, I miss that we used to be able to talk about this stuff, politics-wise, and we just can't. It's just, I mean, I can, but he gets to a point where he gives up and he wants to stop talking, and maybe we need to start finding the common ground. That was always the issue. We just needed to find common ground already. Just like, okay, we get it. You don't like Trump. Like, that is the bottom line. You don't like Trump. I get it, man. And it's like, oh, if you like Trump, there's something wrong with you. It's like, really? You don't see the reasons why we like him? Other than you think that it's, you know, it could be, it's racist, that he's the side that the racists side with, and therefore you may be a racist because racists seem to agree with him. It's not helping anybody. We were all people before this. It's like I never saw this kind of political crazy outrage until I started doing this show and really started opening my eyes. I think a lot of people did too. Once we all got to an age where like Trump was being president or going to be president, everybody seemed to be a political analyst, and everybody seemed to know everything about politics all of a sudden. I didn't know shit. I started almost 4 years ago with Andy, where he was talking about President Trump like crazy, and all I was saying was like, blah, 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 that guy's never going to be president. I hated him. I thought the same thing. I said the same things that Jimmy would say, that Rob would say, and call in and said, oh, he says that it's okay to grab women by their pussies and everything. It's like, dude, if you listen to that in context, which, you know, I heard it and I go, that sounds terrible. And you hear him, and it's not like, oh, I go around and grab women by the pussies. It's like he's sitting there bragging, as he tends to do. He's a big American character, and saying, yeah, we get chicks, man. I mean, these chicks are all over us. I mean, they'll let us grab them by the pussies. I mean, they'll let you do that kind of thing. He's not saying that he's like, we're going to go around and grab women by the Anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent about this thing. It's the looking into what he said. Oh, Rob would say, I'll tell you what, he went in, he said that Nazis were good folk. You know, it's like, what are you talking about? Obviously, he's talking about that meeting that he had where he says, I disavow them. And it's like within the same breath of him saying there were good folks on both sides. And some people forget that both sides, there are people that were the bad side, but the bad side had some people that were up for, that they didn't want the Confederate statue to be taken down here. Let's see. Taylor Weldon says, I get frustrated talking politics with you. We'll never believe the same things. I don't expect to change your mind, nor do I try. And I do try to listen to other sides too. I hope you two homies can find a clear way to keep going together, because frankly, I like the civil disagreements you two have. If you both believe the same stuff, it wouldn't be worth watching, listening. My humble opinion. No, Taylor, you're absolutely right. And I don't think it has anything to do with politics at this point. It may be, but I mean, he was seriously angry that I'm not taking coronavirus seriously. Like, my mouth is getting dry, so I'm going to take a little drink of rated 5 out of 5. That's right. It's many times over. Thirsty Goat by Thirsty Planet. Jimmy, when, you can say that I disrespect you, and I can cite many times where I've done things simply out of the love to do things around you or be with you. And you'll say that I have that, and I'll have no disrespect. And if you ignore those times where, I told you over text. We don't have to talk about our personal stuff exactly over here, like in detail. I mean, you got to know that I have total respect for you and what you have done. And to think that I disrespect you because maybe I'm trying to just be funny in a time that you don't think is very funny. I don't know what I can do about that or change, And the last thing I texted him, Brandon, was I said, "Man, I'm sorry." I'll read it right here, and I haven't really heard back from him yet. So he goes, "Hey man, I'm pretty upset and sad that you quit. I'm sorry, man. What can I do for you / or on the show to get you to continue?" There's many times on this show we've had to change the way we do things because, well, for example, Jimmy would get up and walk away, or he did that once. I'm not going to say that it's constant, but he got so angry with the way that I see things and how I'm trying to rationalize those thoughts that he got up and he walked away for a moment and he yelled, he screams. And there are times where I get a little pent up and rage a bit. It's only because I've had to sit here and get yelled at, and sometimes I need to yell back. There are times where he will yell and we had to stop. We told each other, "Hey man, what are we doing here? We can do a better show than this." And you know what? I had to stop doing politics. Like as you can probably notice the last few weeks, probably month and a half, I just don't even bother with politics. I gather up the funny videos for the end, and then I'm ready to have fun for the show. I'm writing skits for the show, little things that we can play, expand a bit, skit comedy. I want to try to get away from stupid politics. Look at how divisive it is. And I'm not saying that one side's better than the other. I'm not. I just can see both sides of it, and I agree with one side. And I think the problem is that Jimmy sees just his side, pretends he knows our side, but doesn't know the side. Because if he did, do you think I'm just some evil person? Do you think, like, Brandon had very, I wouldn't say leftist things. He wasn't political at all, is what I'm getting at. And over time, he gets to see my side of it. He gets to see Jimmy's side of it. And I think he's come out more on the libertarian side of things, as any rational person would do. And a lot of those libertarian-leaning thoughts seem to fall along the conservative side of the aisle, and well, so be it. But there's some things on the other side of the aisle that libertarians scream on. And I'm saying Jimmy is constantly pushing me, or at least projecting his view of what people are like when they watch nothing but Fox all the time. Like he is some sort of like golden god. I'm so empathetic for people and people empathize with me, and you don't, because you just don't see it the way I see it. And like that's where division starts. Holier than thou thinking. I'm like, I just don't know. I would like to hear more about it. And sometimes I like the Ukraine thing. I mean, it's clear that there was something crazy going on there. But time and time, we got a call?
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Look, man, I didn't expect for you to make the whole show about our breakup, but look, you want to have a conversation about it, we can have a conversation about it. But
I'd love to.
I'm just saying, I'm done. I can't anymore. I can't even fake the outrage. I can't even engage in the discussion anymore. I mean,
look, I totally get it, dude. We're both at this point where politics for both of us is getting stupid, and talking about it to each other is as long as it's not confirmation bias for each other, it just bores either one of us. So that's why I try to write skits, and I want to try to push this show into a more funnier direction. Have more videos.
But it's like, this is the thing. I don't want to get together to film any skits. I don't want to do anything that is portraying to the public that we are not taking this seriously. That's where we have the disconnect.
Okay, no, fair enough, man.
And you're in a place where you think this is going to blow over real quick. Well, I fear for people's complacency and not distancing and not, if in a perfect world, if we were to say, everybody stay home, nobody touch anybody, nobody go into the other room where somebody is for 14 days, we could just wipe it out like that.
Right.
But no one's doing that.
Well, I don't think anyone's prepared to do that.
Well, that's right. And that's when we need the government to tell us everything's going to be okay. We're not all going to lose our houses. We're not all going to be kicked out on the street. We're not all going to starve to death.
Right.
And so this whole argument, or not argument, but this agreement came from, we were supposed to do a show tomorrow with the other show, and I had reservations about it. We had a conference call.
Mm-hmm.
We agreed that we were going to do our own show,
right?
The three of us, one room, and then this morning, number one, you sent me the link to the crazy religious dude,
right?
So then, I go down that rabbit hole of reading this Promise Keepers manifesto, and then 5 minutes later, you tried to invite somebody else into the studio, and I put my foot down because I had some boundaries.
Right.
I was already uncomfortable, and I know you're clearing your throat because this is an emotional thing here, man. Dude, I've been crying over this.
I know.
You're
very fearful of this. I get
about
it.
walking away from the show, man. But I just can't. I gotta step away, bro.
You know what? If you have to do that, you got to.
Self-preservation is making me step away because I can't argue with you if we're not making any grounds. Now you dig in, man, and you say, well, if I don't agree with you 100%, I'm just trying to talk logic and science,
bro. Me too.
And statistics.
You act like I don't want those things.
And the people that don't want those things are the people that think there's some sort of higher power that is going to save them from this. And that is not the case. It's human action or inaction that is going to make this wrap up or continue for a very long time, and we will see the destruction of the economy that we hold so dear.
Bro, I mean, you're wanting to quit. It was, listen, if you're that upset, you could have said we can get you on a Skype. We'll put us all on Skype. We can do like a whole FaceTime kind of thing. We can put that out. Brandon doesn't even have to leave his place. We don't have to go anywhere.
I just gotta regroup, man. I gotta come at it for look, I love you guys. I love the show. I want to do it again one day, but I just can't right now.
I understand, Jimmy.
I am so past politics. Like I just heard Abbott just gave his speech, and there's a lot of fucking politics in his lack of decision making right there. I mean, he called out that the hot spots are Houston, Dallas, Austin, and then he had he's like, but I'm not the governor of just those. Well, he didn't even say that. He said, I'm not the governor of Dallas or Houston or Austin, But it's like, no, dude, you're the governor of the state. If it's in those hot spots, that's where the major transport areas are coming from. Shit's going to flow from Dallas to fucking Lubbock. Shit's going to flow to Corpus, to the Valley, to San Marcos, to San Antonio. If it's in the big metropolitan areas, like look at New York, dude, they're going to shut it down. You got Germany that's just said that it's going down to 2 people, max 2 people. If we don't take it seriously, we're going down to 2 people. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, man, I sympathize with you. What can I say to make you feel better? Nothing. Like that's the thing. I'm lost at what I can tell you because you're obviously very worried about it, and I get it, but we must remain strong about things and continue life without, we got to do a lot of extra things now in our everyday life that we should have been doing in the first place. And, having the order to quarantine for 15 days would do us a lot of good, and hopefully stop the spread, and then we can work towards the completion. But it sounds like to you, it sounds like it's the end of the world kind of situation.
I'm looking at a shopping center parking lot behind my apartment here that's full of cars.
Yeah, dude. Saturdays and Sundays are going to have a lot of people there. But I went to an HEB yesterday in the middle of a Saturday, and I was able to buy pretty much everything I needed. Toilet paper is gone,
No,
but
and listen. I'm telling you, yeah. Maybe it's not here yet. You go into the grocery store, you're not going to encounter somebody that's got it.
you may.
But once we do, it's everywhere.
But now you're worried about spreading. I think that's where you're not worried about you getting it, because the success rate of recovery rate rather is very high, and you're worried about the older folk that are more susceptible to it, the people with underlying conditions, because it's not gonna affect real just normal. Use that in quotations, but people that don't have any sickness at the moment.
I mean,
if you have something going on with you,
as long as citizens in this country are worried about old people dying. Now, if the consensus changes and they say, you know what, let them go.
Yeah.
Because
I'm worried about old people dying.
Businesses are going to be shuttered and shut down, and they're going to go out of business.
Yeah.
Though, as long as old people are dying and we care about it.
Right.
As long as sick people are dying and we care about it.
Jimmy,
now,
I agree with you 100%, man.
That thing that you sent me earlier from that Promise Keeper dude.
He was talking about how this is because you making God mad or something, right? Or Christians don't get it.
He's talking about, everything's predestined. We're either going to live or we're going to die, and as long as we choose Jesus. Well, now listen, we've got people that are writing the laws right now that believe like this guy. So, I'm just saying my energy maybe needs to be not just debating this for no fucking purpose.
Well, you don't have to. That's the thing. We
Nobody
don't have to, bro.
listens to this shit anyway. Nobody gives a fuck. They're all having their birthday parties with their kids, and passing out some cupcakes from Aunt Jenny, and then they're sending the little disease carriers back like little time bombs, and then next thing you know, we're all fucking hunting squirrels. So listen,
Jimmy, this is the kind of talk we can still do. I agree with you 100% on this. And listen, I was telling you, we were talking about this a month and a half ago, that this politics thing between us is tearing us apart, and we need to recognize that.
Can't
do
it.
You can't just ignore it.
Do it.
You can't ignore it, or you can't talk about it. Like, what can't you do?
Yeah, I'm just like.
Do you not want to be friends anymore?
I mean, there's no bridge anymore. The bridge has been blown up because we've come to it's like flat earther and round earther.
Yeah, you're obviously sitting on a flat earth, and I'm trying to get you to come back to the round earth. I'm not trying to convince you of anything, but when you think that I'm so far off there, like, you honestly think the side I think, or that I'm going with most of the time, is a flat earther? I'm not going to change my mind ever? I get it, man.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about it. I know that's what you think, dude.
And
it shows.
And then you got upset when I was telling you were trolling me, but that's how I felt this morning.
But dude, when you tell me that, oh no, you obviously are trolling. It's like, on this show, I do put on, like, what you would say, a little bit more of a little bit more, twang into it, more oomph into what we talk about and how we speak about things for the show's sake, And at times I could be trolling, but for the most part, it lines up with everything that I'm still talking about libertarian-wise, and voting libertarian, and not Republican when I can. Like, I'm with you on a lot of things, bro, but you understand that just because I feel like I'm going to vote for Trump, and it's not even for sure yet. I feel like I might still. But when you start telling me that I don't care or that I disrespect you,
look, the whole meat and potatoes of this is boundaries.
Boundaries,
and
yeah.
You pushed them today, and the reason why I quit is I just can't fight you. If my reason for my boundaries was questioned,
And I
my
won't question.
reasoning
I won't question
with questions.
or tell you that your boundaries haven't been. I won't argue and say that I haven't hurt you when you feel hurt or something. I feel that's not what I'm trying to do at all. But telling you that we can still do this show and we can still follow any rule that you want. It's like, hey, everything that you wanted in this show, like every time I feel like you're about to quit, I try to do everything I can to accommodate the way you want things to be, and we implement a lot of those things, man. Like, I don't want to talk about politics that much, but then you start bringing it up, and then like we start talking about it again. I'm trying to change the attitude of this show.
And that's what I'm saying. I gotta remove myself.
Oh,
from
I
the
see.
situation.
Okay,
It's
well, I mean,
self-preservation.
I get it, but you
I
don't
mean,
have to
we
do
gotta
that.
Cool it out so that you and I can talk about something else.
Right. And
Because
that's respectful.
I just can't.
But you can just forget it. You can just let's forget it and move on. Like, maybe that's how I'm different maybe than you, but I can go, good, man, no problem. Done. No grudge held, no anything. I'll forget about it and we'll move on. Maybe I can get that from you. Maybe you can just be like, yeah, you're right. We both are, we need to stop doing this, but we can still do a show. We got people all over this. Taylor Weldon's definitely all about us trying to stay together. Chris Odom's saying he feels us both, We can still do our show. It doesn't have to be about hating on the right or the left. We can have personalities. Our last few episodes on homelessness have been some of our best shows, I think. But we don't need to be talking about nationwide politics. We can keep it to the local if we're going to talk about it at all. Like, I'm willing to compromise with it, bro.
We've got to talk about the psyche of this country.
Yeah.
We got to talk about the humanity of this world. We got to start talking about how we are going to. I mean, like, there's going to be studies that are done on this based on our non-movement and the amazing impact that it's had on the streams and the creeks and the air quality,
right.
from all these things. And we need to make sure that when we wake up from this little dream that we're having, that things get better.
No, you're right.
Like we've got to start thinking away from fossil fuels.
Okay, see, I knew you were going to get into this. No, you're absolutely right. But dude,
on the universal health care.
Time and time again.
And making sure that this doesn't happen again, because this will happen again. They're already talking about it. You're hearing about how it's going to reemerge in the fall.
Dude, okay, I totally get what you're saying, but how's that going to stop China and India from being a bigger polluter than anybody in the world twice over? Like,
we need to be the leaders.
Yeah, we already are the leaders, bro. Like, I get what you're saying, but we are leaders of green energy and all that fucking shit. And now, we can be the example, but it's still going to take China a long time to adapt to those things, and they cause the most pollution to anybody.
Listen.
Okay, I'm listening. Eric says, "Love
I'm
you both."
talking about the philosophy.
Yeah,
so
says, "Love you guys."
How do we get China to follow in line? It's not the
You're right.
But
How do we do
doing
that?
bad, so I can do bad. It's like, I remember my buddy Christopher. We were at his house. He and I got in trouble. And his dad said, "Oh, why'd you do it?" And he's like, "Well, because Jimmy did it." And he said, "Well, Jimmy jumped off a bridge. Would you do it too?" He said, "No, I just laughed." And then his dad laughed and walked away. None of us got spanked. So, listen,
Okay.
there's going to be a spanking. This is one of them. This is our first little rap on the legs. But we've got a wake-up call. And the philosophy, the psyche of this country is something that we need to look into. But like I said, dude,
how do you expect to change all that psyche? Like, what would be your first step to getting people to change the way they think about this whole thing? At least China. How do we get China to do that? How do we change their minds? It's something we could talk about on a future show if you want to hear that. Jimmy's on the phone right now. If you guys are just joining us, Jimmy did quit, but he'll be back. Like maybe after a couple months, you want to try to hop back in, Jimmy? Or what? We tell you what we can do is we can just shut down productions, do mini live streams. Did you see my live stream? Yeah, he was on my live stream yesterday, and it was the other day working on leather crafting in my house all by myself, as everyone should be doing. You know, I'm following these things, bro. Like the only people I've encountered, I mean, I can still count on my fingers how many people I've encountered in the last week. You know, I lost my job. Hopefully they'll have us all back, you know. So I'm trying to keep my cool about everything, Jimmy, and not panic. I feel like you'll be off of out of work starting like Wednesday or something, and maybe we can get together. Don't even have to get together. We can FaceTime together and work out something, because I really feel that you don't want to quit the show, but you're feeling so.
No, I feel terrible, but I've just had, you know, too many times, and this, and I'm not talking about too many times with you. I'm just saying in life, man.
Yeah.
And I just in this state that we are living in right now, you know, I've got to reserve my energy. And it's taking a lot out of me.
But you know, it's not that bad, right? It's not that bad, right, Jimmy?
Maybe I just need better coping mechanisms. But,
yeah, I mean, but think about things that it's not like things aren't that bad.
I was absolutely beside myself on the prospect of doing the show with like 5 of us on Monday, and then we got to my comfort level. I was thrown in Audible, like I said earlier in the text.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you.
I'm sorry.
Out of self-preservation, I reacted.
I'm sorry for riling you up.
And I love you. I love Brando. But and I just gotta step away. So that's it.
Jimmy, you just need to step away from talking politics with us, because everything else is fine. We're trying to move in a different direction, anyways. And once we're able to be face to face and not have a credible threat, we could get back. I wrote that script's pretty much done. I mean, did you read it at all, Jimmy?
Yeah, I read it.
You thought it was hilarious, right? I found your voice in there, and I wrote it.
I would punch it up, but I just didn't get around to it. No offense.
What does that punch it up?
Like put some punchlines in there. It's a little long. But don't take that as bad criticism. It's very good.
I wanted to get all that. I kind of wrote cheesy stuff, and anyways, I would like to record that still. And Jimmy, I want to respect, and I've always tried to respect your boundaries, and whether or not I riled you up on the phone. This is the reason why texting is not a great thing, and being isolated is not such a great thing. We're social people and want to be around other people, and I've done my best to try to stay away from other people. I watch a lot of TV, and I try to keep myself busy with the leathercraft projects and orders that I've received, and people are still wanting to buy wallets in this time of need, which I'm astounded by, and they're willing to pay a good price for a good wallet, and I'm trying to stay busy. I had totally blown off this assembly line job that I was supposed to go to. I totally blew it off. I was supposed to show up there on Friday morning, and I just ignored it, and they called a couple of times, and then I got the email saying we're going to rescind the employment. It was $15 an hour during this time, and it was just going to be assembling stuff, and they wanted you to do all this stupid stuff like basically train. And it's like, no, man, I just want to get on a line and just put things together. But yeah, obviously you need training and everything, and I just felt like it was too much work. You know, I hope I get that I hope I get unemployment. The whole company got unemployment, so we may get that. And then if we get a Trump stimulus check, I would welcome that. So hopefully it doesn't last more than a month or two. But who the fuck knows,
Look,
man?
You're talking to a guy. I'm looking at it right now, my license plate from my old truck.
The one that's all signed, right?
DOA Y2K.
Oh.
You know, you're talking. I used to sell. I had a website called DOA Y2K, and we used to sell Y2K preparedness kits. I worked in the software field, you know, for many years leading up to Y2K. You know, a lot of my livelihood was built on it. I've been part of scares before. You know, I've been through the tech bust and everybody losing their ass in that. I was a realtor during the real estate bust. You know, I've seen economic downturns, but this is different. This is human. This is biological.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying that people gotta take it seriously. They gotta take it seriously, or else it's gonna be a long time.
I get it.
Of this.
And I feel I've done everything I can and more to be safe, and not spread my germs around, or at least keep them to myself. I mean, that's all we can really do at this time. Try to stay at home. If you're around other people, I think I'm okay going over to Brandon's. It's just him and his roommate, which I don't even encounter. And I sit here and talk and then wash my hands every few minutes whenever I can, get that Purell going. I've watched a bunch of videos on how to make hand sanitizer. So if you guys need a recipe, give me a holler. I'll give you a good one. Or you can just get isopropyl. This guy made it out of Corona, which I thought was pretty clever. He made hand sanitizer from Corona. What do you think about that, Jimmy?
Sounds great. It's so ironic. It's hilarious. I gotta go. Listen,
Jimmy.
Take care, bud. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, but
I feel like you've lost your sense of humor in this whole
gone.
thing.
It is
that
gone.
sucks.
I can't make jokes about any of this. It's over. You know, the sense of humor is over until later. I'll leave it for the other folks that you know, that's their job, to make jokes. I used to do that. I don't do that anymore. Now I'm just the guy that's feeling the pain for a lot of people hurting, and the hurt's still coming. So we're getting punched.
You can do that and still make people laugh.
Can't write this story yet. We're in the middle of it. We're in chapter 1.
You can still do that and make people laugh.
I guess not today.
Not today, but Jimmy, I love you, bud, and you know, don't jump off a cliff or hurt yourself in any way. That concerns me the most about you.
Yeah.
And
no, but I'm fine. I'm fine.
You sure?
I'm socially distancing myself.
Understood, man.
I'm like 2 seconds away from like deactivating my Facebook profile. You know, but the problem is, I feel like
it's not a bad idea.
If I do that, I'll lose contact with some people. So that's the only thing. But I'm just dialing it back.
Stay off of Facebook. Stay off. Just get on your TikTok and get lost in that, dude. He was sending us tons of links yesterday, all TikTok. I feel like his phone's gonna die like right now because he's been watching 20 hours of TikTok on his phone. I'm not gonna download it, but Jimmy, I'm sorry, dude.
You should watch him.
Yeah, I know.
I'll
Jimmy,
talk to you guys later.
All right, dude. I hope you'll be all right. I love you. Bye.
No, I'm fine. I'll talk to you.
You see what I mean? He's gotten to a point where he can't talk politics because his side's obviously right. He's ultimately right. And where do you go from there, you know? So that's when I said, let's stop talking to politics. Let's just start talking funny things, you know? We have a common enemy at the moment when it came to political campaigns, and it was Biden. And we're both like, we can both talk shit on it, but it became clear that Biden was going to be the front runner for this Democratic nomination, and it's like now he's defending them because anybody but Trump, and I think this is what it all stems down to is Trump as well. You know, he hates Trump so much, and I get why you guys do. I just don't have that much anger. We got a phone call.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, who's this, Dwayne?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Dwayne. We're looking for a co-host, man. What do you think?
Turn
him down a bit.
After all this shit blows over, maybe.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can still. I think I want to have him call in. I don't think he's done with the show. He's done with me for now. I wanted to name the show "Jimmy Preston is Dead." ... to me, because I wanted to say have something to say that would probably get people's a lot of eyes and tell him that Jimmy does not. People love Jimmy on this show. I doubt they really like me. So. And he keeps saying it's your show. I was like, man, I know you think that, but I've from day one have said this is your show. This is my show. This is Brandon's show. If you want to do anything on the show, you just have to let's just do it, man. And he keeps saying it's your show.
You know what? This situation has a lot of people feeling a lot of feelings, and Jimmy's just one of those people feeling feelings, man.
It's way too much feelings.
He's stuck in that fucking apartment by himself. He's got no outlet, you know what I mean?
He's more worried about spreading it to he has this way of explaining things to you that you already know. But he'll say like, "Oh, you're going to touch me, you're going to be talking to me, you're going to be fist bumping me, and then I'm going to be going home, and then I'll be sitting there, and then I'm going to go to work, and then I'll touch Tony, and Tony's going to touch Don, and then Don's dead cuz he's an old man." It's like I know how
proves the theory that Jimmy Preston doesn't wash.
And it's like
I've done a dirty fuck, and he knows it.
Oh, okay, let's take it easy. You know,
I joke, Jimmy. I joke. I love you.
See, that's the thing. He's not ready to joke right now. He's not ready to joke about things, and I'm always ready to joke in the most inappropriate times. The end of time.
What else are you gonna do right now?
Yeah, dude, he's like, you're doing everything you can do. Good. Okay, now you can check that off, and now you can go put on somebody else's face mask or something. It's like you got to make sure to put your oxygen mask on, and then put someone else's, your kid's oxygen mask on. He wants to make sure he's prepared, and I don't think he's all that prepared.
Do you have to put the kids on immediately? Can you wait a few minutes just to see how it affects?
You know, and he's doing that curbside. I'm not trying to speak ill will of him. I love Jimmy. But it's a topic today that he's still doing curbside or whatever from HEB. Mm-hmm. And, you know, my girlfriends kept getting pushed over and over. And I was like, man, I hope yours doesn't get pushed the date of pickup. And then I walk right into an HEB prepared to see fucking madness. And it's a regular day at HEB on a Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, people say you're blaming the media and media's being blamed. It's like, yeah, I get it. Maybe the media has been saying... What they need to be saying, rather, is that HEB, their warehouses are stocked. They're ready to go. What they're not going to do is stock up the toilet paper all fucking day for you people. So they're going to do it once till you can only have 3 or 4 so that people can get it. And then, like, why are people grabbing all the toilet paper all of a sudden?
I don't know, man. You know, I'm guessing they're afraid of their ability to feed themselves without giving themselves the shits.
Yeah.
So the first thing is... toilet paper.
You know, I had put a post up. I went to HEB first time since all the craziness, and no toilet paper, plenty of tortillas. Yeah. So if you're ever in a pinch on 40 Days of Tacos, you can use those tortillas. Not refried beans on those, by the way.
Shit tacos.
You know, and he's still going out, dude. Like, as far as I know, he's still ordering food every fucking day, going to the counter and picking up whatever germs are on anything that he tries to open up. You know, I've stayed at home. I've gotten food delivered to me. I was doing what I want to do, and it didn't make him feel comfortable. Listen, okay, I'm talking shit again, and that's not helpful. I'm sorry, Jimmy.
I mean, what are you going to do? Chances are we've all got it, and we just don't know it because we can't get fucking tested. So it's like The Walking Dead, dude. We've all got it. We just aren't showing symptoms right now.
But this disease that's going around is not like a Walking Dead disease, right? It's like it sounds like he thinks that it's going to be like that it's going to take years to get this vaccine rolling. And, you know, there has been some promising things about a malaria drug that has been killing the coronavirus. So maybe that may work, and it will take 18 months or so.
Chloropen or whatever?
Whatever it was. I don't know the chemical name, but I know it was it's for malaria, to treat malaria.
They're definitely fast-tracking the shit out of some vaccines, man. Like, they skipped animal testing, went straight to human testing. Like, fuck it, they're dying anyway. Let's inject some shit.
Right, and whatever that might be hazardous and might be bad in the future, but we'll see. How were you set for this whole thing? I mean, first of all,
I mean, I'm good, man. I haven't left the house since last Friday.
Well, Jimmy. What was I going? My mouse fell, so I was all entwined with that. What do you think? Do you think that we are going to be closed down do you think there's going to be a national lockdown for 15 days? And if that is so, is that the reason why people are hoarding the toilet paper?
Honestly,
we're
dude,
at 50 minutes ready?
I'm prepared to be in the house till May.
Okay.
If it goes further than that, then I got to rethink some options. But, I mean, at this point, we've gone out a couple of times we don't call it going to the grocery store anymore. We call it going on supply runs just to get ready. But, we don't leave the house unless it's for something that we absolutely need.
Yeah, dude. You've got plenty of vape juice, got plenty of other vapes.
Plenty of weed, plenty of food.
Yeah, he's in a different state that is legal for weed.
I mean, what are they going to do? Nobody's coming out here.
Yeah, just claim that you have it and they'll leave you alone.
I'm just going to put a sign on the window that says I got the coronas.
Let's see. Aaron says laughter's best form of medicine. I mean, it's a great form of medicine. At least lets you, when people are, this is what I feel that Jimmy is right now. He's like a full-blown terminal cancer patient that has accepted his fate and he's dead, right? But it's not that style that's like, dude, I get it, I'm dead, but you know what, I'm going to live the rest of my life the fucking happiest dude in the world. Like that kid in Legit. That I don't know if you ever watched that one. But anyways,
I don't think so.
Anyways, a kid that's about to die wants to live his life to the fullest and doesn't end up dying at the end. So like he just keeps living his life to the fullest until he's dead.
I see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, well, it's the end of the world for some people, and it's just not. Things are gonna be okay. And what I was thinking is like, Jimmy wants the president to be so authoritarian that he tells everyone you cannot leave your house for 15 days. I think that's something that I've dealt with Jimmy for a lot, his authoritarian side. Very much, and he'll say, oh, you keep saying that. It's my way or the highway. It's like, well, no, that's what authoritarians do. And it's like, if you say that your opinion is fact, when in fact it's questionable and we can debate which side is right. No, but you're like shut off. And he's like, nope, I'm I'm right. You're wrong. That's it. That's the kind of talk we were running into. I feel like I've been trying to be very middle ground about things.
I at this point, man, why not? Why not just say, hey, look, you assholes, don't fucking go anywhere. Stay the fuck home. Why not do it? I mean, a bunch of people are saying, well, we don't live in a dictatorship. It's a free country. Yeah, it's a free country. It's great.
What do you do with people that leave their house? Too. Like, let's say that's a thing. He goes, listen, you guys are not going to get in trouble, but you got to go out there. I mean, if you guys can't leave. We're going to stay closed. Everyone's closed for 15 days. All businesses will be closed. You cannot leave your house. But people leave their house. What happens? For any reason, someone got hurt on the inside. They got to go to the hospital. Do they call the ambulance, or can they they don't want the ambulance fee because that's a very expensive fee, and try to drive to the, there's lots of problems with that. That's why it's best to say, listen, if you guys need to stay quarantined, stay quarantined. We got to do our best. Like, that's the libertarian way to go. You can't just be like, no, you guys must stay in house. Like, whether or not you have these statistics saying if we did that in 15 days, we will have the best chance of blah, blah, blah. If we don't do that, it's the fucking climate change thing all over again. Like, I believe there's climate change.
This thing is not as serious as it could fucking be.
Right. Yeah,
the rate of death is higher than most things we've had to deal with in the last fucking 100 years.
Right.
But the point is, it's not. There are way more people recovering than there are dying from it, and everybody's screaming about long-term effects this and long-term effects. You don't know what the fuck the long-term effects are because it's only been around for a few fucking months.
Right.
So Live your
Well,
goddamn life.
Listen,
you
you're
know?
not you're not taking my feelings into consideration when I'm saying that we must stop everything and you need to go home and stop.
I mean, yeah, don't go fucking hang out in the bars and shit. I mean, but if you need to go out for groceries,
No,
and
fuck
the
that.
grocery
They cannot
store's
leave their
fucking
house
open,
because of the viruses out there, and you may get
whatever.
infected. See,
you
that's the
might get infected,
dude. That's right.
You might be
you
infected already.
Yeah, that's right. And you might.
You know,
you probably might live if you get it.
You know, there's a lot of folks that I've talked to that seem to believe that this virus was around in our area for way longer than it was even in the news, and they've already had it and beat it.
Very well. Some of these could be more seasonal. We don't know what's going to happen, but right now it just seems a little high, and then every day it gets higher and higher. And it's probably because we're seeing more tests being thrown into the mix, and then once there's more confirmed cases, it skyrockets. More. I think that's alarming to people, and I think it's irresponsible to just report that. Oh, the numbers of the Spanish flu or the Wuhan flu has just gone up. 33% just today.
I mean,
there were
why
these
do we
many.
gotta call it the Wuhan flu? First of all, you know?
There was something called the Spanish flu.
Right. But I don't. I think back then it was more okay to say the Spanish flu.
Well, it came back and was called the swine flu. And we were a little bit more
but then
prepared for that.
We're offending all the pigs.
No, that's another thing that Jimmy got really angry about. I was just defending the fact that I haven't really called it the Chinese coronavirus, but he goes, it's so racist to call it the Chinese coronavirus, and I brought up the fact that people were calling it the Wuhan virus, and now somehow it's racist if Trump says it. Anything that Trump says is racist, I guess.
I mean, isn't it racist to Mexicans calling it the coronavirus?
Hey, man, this is what I'm talking about here. Why can't we laugh?
Why shouldn't we laugh? We should fucking laugh.
I know. Well, that's what
I'm
I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to just be funny, and I was super sad until you called, man. So you've brought me right up with your laughter, and I don't think
what are you going to do? Sit in a morbid depression for the next fucking month?
No, but I think
fuck it.
I think until Jimmy wants to come back, it may be never. He might not want to ever come back because he honestly feels that we will never find the bridge is gone. He said, he goes, the bridge is long gone. There's nowhere we're going to find. I see the bridge. Where is the bridge that he's looking at? And when people talk about, oh, this guy's the divisive one, it's like when I look, I would love to see that. He does say some stupid fucking things, but when it comes down to it, how many of my liberal friends don't follow me anymore because I posted something pro-life or something? How many people?
Right.
How many friends have I lost in Facebook because of it? And Jimmy goes, I've never unfollowed anybody because of anything, and maybe that's an argument for blocking people so that you can sit in your little happy bubble.
If I spent time blocking people that I disagreed with, then I wouldn't fucking talk to anybody, because at some point or another, I disagree with everyone, So, fuck it, man.
Fuck it, man. Let's go
It's
bowling.
ridiculous.
Well, Dwayne, if you want to, we'll talk off air, and let's talk about it. You've already been on the show many times, and we could. But the thing is, I wanted to get more into doing funny skits, and maybe we can do those funny skits with you or something.
Well, I told you guys a number of times that you should quit talking about politics because the arguments get ridiculous.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I mean, how can you disagree with that? But that was sort of what brought us together in the first place. I remember not seeing Jimmy in a very long time. I mean, he's always been an acquaintance for like up to 10 years now. And I started to go to the Austin Facial Hair Club meetings. This was towards Worlds. Worlds was coming, and I wanted to become a member. And so I was able to show up to all those.
You haven't been to a meeting in fucking months.
Right. So what? He goes up to me. We're at Jackalope, and he comes up to me, knowing that I'm already sort of I'm more right up to him than he knows, and he says like, "How do you feel about Alex Jones doing this and that?" I was like, how do you feel about it? And that was sort of what I haven't talked to him forever, and I never knew him to talk about politics, but that's like the second he said to that, I was like, man, I didn't know that this guy was such a lefty. And we've got the old co-host here, not here, but Andrew Blanton totally was written off by Jimmy at one point, because like at one point, Andy was so political. He would argue with people about statistics. He would argue with black people about they're more statistically prone to crime, you know? And he would say that to them, dude. And you're like, Dad, damn it, Andy, don't fucking say that kind of stuff. And he's like, what? It's fucking true. And I go, yeah, I know, but you're going to get yourself beat up or something, right? And that's when I started realizing, like, you can cite, like, true things to people and it'll fucking rile them up. It's hate speech in some cases, you know, to people when you go, well, this is the stats that we have, and I'm just citing the stats, and you're like, that's a fucking racist stat. Like the guy who discovered DNA did this whole test about IQ and race, and it like got him stripped of his Nobel Peace Prize or whatever, some shit like that.
Oh yeah. What the fuck was his name? I know who you're talking about. He wrote a book where he went all in depth about how whites were just inherently smarter.
I know. What's it called? James Watson. I guess that's the guy. Now, whether or not, I mean, it was scientific, and he might be racist. The point is,
just a little.
Anyways, there's no point to that. I miss Jimmy being here.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to take a break, but I think we should get into watching. So we'll pull up the greens. Can we do the green screen and watch videos? Or should I just keep talking?
Yeah, they'll play down in the corner.
I'll just play. No, we'll just talk for the rest of this time. I like having Dwayne on. It sounds like it's good having a partner. Because I can do this show. Otherwise, it would just be me talking about my shit, and I've done that before, and it's fine. I would like Jimmy to be part of the whole thing, because that's what makes the show interesting, having two dynamic personalities more or less fight with each other. Burping in the mic, which is something we haven't been able to do in a long time because we can't drink at the studio. That's another thing too. We're going to have to stop going into Studio 2 for a bit, because the guy that had certification for it was Jimmy. But he may join the show again by the time we're able to go back in the studio, so it doesn't even matter. In the meantime,
I don't think he's gone permanently.
Yeah, I don't either, and I wish that we can get Jimmy back. Jimmy, we can do it in a way where Jimmy is still standing right next to me. I think he's pissed off because I left my house. And we can do this show through FaceTime or something, right? We can all get on. Yeah, this guy can sit right at the helm as he's doing right now and just stream all of us on there. It could happen.
True statement.
But yeah, Jimmy's done for now, and he sort of admitted the fact that it's like, I'm trying to do my best to try not to be divisive. He's like, I can't right now. Like, I cannot not be divisive. Like, that's all I feel is hate at the moment. I need to leave. I don't think he feels hate.
He
but
wants to talk about how poorly he feels the situation was handled by our current administration. And I get it. Everybody wants to talk about it.
Totally get it.
But what's done is fucking done. We can't do anything about it. Why not just concentrate on the shit you can control? Like, stay in your fucking ass at home and not being a douchebag about it.
Well, you know, and he also will post shit up. Like, he posted the thing up. Maybe it was just to us, Brandon, but he said something like, oh, socialism, the $1,000 check is socialism versus, he says, not my president, so I shouldn't cash in that $1,000 check kind of thing, right? And I go, you know the difference between socialism and a relief like that, you know, and I think some people are still posting up like, oh, socialism is getting $1,000 check. No, yeah, getting $1,000 check every day because you're still working and there hasn't been a coronavirus. We had to tell people to stay home, so maybe we should try to compensate them by throwing $1,000 in their fucking bank. understand that this is not socialism when they give us $1,000 check and
Right.
and free coronavirus screenings. Like, it's not socialism. Now, I get it that they're saying, "Oh, you know, this is a good reason why we should have socialized medicine." Dude, right now, if you wanted to try to get a test and it was supplied by the government, you'd still be in line right now if you got in line a week ago. It's just, think about your curbside. Think about your curbside from HEB. You can't even get that within a fucking day. It takes a fucking week for your shit. You think the government can take care of your fucking healthcare? Give me a break. Now, there we go. Getting political again. But
yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. And I kind of feel like we're shit talking on Jimmy, and we're really not. You know,
we're definitely trying not to.
Both of us love Jimmy very much, but
I love Jimmy so much that
I feel like he's just blowing things out of proportion just a little bit.
We got a report here. Harvey Weinstein tests positive for coronavirus in prison. Reports say from the Independent.uk.
He had his fingers crossed.
Yeah, sure. He got coronavirus. No. Homeboy got suicided by Hillary, bro. Trust.
Yeah, that motherfucker's been praying for coronavirus. Please let the coronavirus take me so that I don't get murdered by some gigantic fucking gang member, whether it be the Aryan Brotherhood or the Crips or the Mexican Mafia, whoever it may be. We're not going to be racist here, but somebody was going to murder that fat fuck.
You're right. He's definitely a fucking asshole. If you watch our Brew World trailer, it actually cites him as casting by. Maybe we should change that. What do you think about that? How do you like that new trailer, by the way?
What?
How do you like that new trailer we got going for?
I love it.
Brew World.
It'd be better if I was in it, but it's good.
Well, I don't even know if I have old video. I'd have to download the whole video because I'm using this new Mac over here. I'm also still using the old HP over here, just to run. Get this. Just to run the Brew World order and run the intro, which could easily be transferred over to Brandon's job, but all I have is my soundboard connected, and that's it. It's not even recording audio. It used to be all about recording audio, but since we moved around to different studios, things have changed. And I need to just go into this Mac, and everything needs to be in this Mac. But because it's in this Mac, I don't have all the old stuff like from way back when Mr. Dwayne was on the show, so we can put the Brew World up, get some clips of that.
I was actually looking at a new mixer. I mean, it's not new. It came out last year. That's pretty dope. It's got a soundboard built into it. You can take audio through it or take phone calls through it. Fuck, what was the name of that thing?
Oh, it was like a podcast
mixer. The Rodecaster.
The Rodecaster.
Oh, Rodecaster Pro. Yeah, that thing's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've had my eye on it for a little while.
That is all you need for
Brando.
Yo, what's up?
He's just hopping in.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on?
That thing is like an all-in-one machine, man.
You know what we need? We need to ask Hard Hat what your thoughts are on Jimmy leaving.
What my thoughts are?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this?
I miss him. He's like a big teddy bear.
Okay, but you get to see us every single week, and you don't have a big say in what we talk about, but you definitely run everything, and anything that you see on the screen, Brandon is putting up. And so I know from actually talking to Kyle about things is like when sometimes you're hearing what's his name, Jimmy. That's right. Fuck, almost forgot it. When you hear his name and he starts going on about something, and we're on something, right? You know, we're supposed to be doing something. And he's like, "Oh well, the blah blah. That reminds me of that." And then Brandon says, "Let's go, Jimmy. Let's go." And does this whole thing with the hand moving around.
Come on, Jimmy.
Let's go, Jimmy.
Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. And you
Jimmy's
get it.
really good at derailing the train.
Yeah. So, but how do you feel about he wants to leave, and do you agree that? Do you agree with his reason for leaving?
I mean, no, not really. I see where he's coming from now. A full-on leave, like, no, absolutely not. But like a postponement, like, hey guys, I just got to step away. Like,
I would totally
I
get
could
that.
get that, but just to outright quit and then like go out and put it on the Facebook and all that, like, hey, he's done. It's like, damn, he's serious. And like just being the person who puts it all together and like works on the flow and of everything. Like, I mean, he does bring an aspect that, you know, balances the show. Now the derailing and going on, that's something else, because you know as good as I do, there's plenty of times where we've got 15 videos left and we can't get to any of them because, you know, it's been derailed about Susie, some next door neighbor that he lived next to 12 years ago, whose uncle got laid off. You know, it's like,
in defense of Jimmy, if
Well,
you've ever been to an Austin Facial Hair Club meeting, it's much the same thing.
And it's
just
well,
what
it's
Jimmy does.
It's not even so much that I see he's trying to make a point, but in order to make that point, he's got to tell this backstory,
And a lot of times he forgets.
and
a
then
lot of times he
you
forgets
forget it.
the point that he was going for, and
then it's
think
like
that's
you went on
hilarious.
this tangent for 7 minutes for nothing, and it's like that's at least make it pay off. But
I think Jimmy's
you know,
watching right
so,
now.
Yeah,
No,
he's
not-
not probably gonna hate me, but I'm sorry, Jimmy, but I love you.
But no, but you feel sad about that.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
Just because he did that stuff, we didn't hate him because of
No.
that. That's what was funny about the show, that he would go off on these tangents, and hopefully if he would start doing the story, he'd be able to come back to it, because I do that a lot, and I know that I'll end up losing my things, so you have to keep it in your mind. And sometimes he gets drunk. Sometimes we indulge a little too much before the show, and that's what gets us going. But normally, if you see us on a nice sober time, we'll be able to throw those sort of references out, like, oh, this is the story related to it, and then because of that, we're back into what we were talking about. And he forgets that sometimes.
That's something I don't know if you guys know, but I work with a lot of like up and coming podcasters here in the area, and when I'm talking to them about like tangents, if getting disrailed, is like, I always tell them, if you can bring it back in and make it relevant,
that's all the perfect
then,
right there.
Yeah, that's perfect. But if you can't, then well, you might want to kind of rethink your steps and where you're going.
Yeah, I think about Adam
Right.
Carolla in a sense. Like he's the master of rants, and he goes off on a rant, dude, and he's able to make it come back. What I think he does, because he closes his eyes. If you ever watch him, he closes his eyes, and he's always talking with his eyes closed, because he's able to like really think. And he says he's talked to people where he's talking and telling a story to somebody, and he's got his eyes closed, and the guy's like, "Why are you closing your eyes?" And he's like, "Listen, like this is just how I'm able to see the thing and recite it right back to you with my velvet tongue." And the guy's great at what he does, and he's a very improv guy. And if you guys watch any
I feel like
podcast,
if you really
it should
had
be
a
him.
velvet tongue, your mouth would be dry.
So
all
dry,
the time.
so dry. But he can paint a picture with that velvet tongue. I tell you what. How much time do we have on this stream so far?
We're an hour and 12 minutes.
All right, so hey, we're just going to keep rolling. This is going to be taken for channel 10 at 10, so it's probably around almost 11 o'clock for you guys here in Austin on Wednesday night. We've lost Jimmy. We've got Dwayne on the phone, who's our Jimmy replacement at the moment. What's up, Dwayne? Hi. Anyways, what else can we talk about in this? It's like all we could talk about is coronavirus and Trump calling the coronavirus the Chinese coronavirus. What else can we talk about? HEB not having toilet paper. We've gone over that. It's too bad you're not here so we can watch videos. That would be great.
Buying stuff off of Amazon, so that's nice. Bought a ton of puzzles.
Oh, dude, what kind of puzzles?
Let's see. I've got a giant Day of the Dead, like all sugar skulls and whatnot.
Oh, it's like a jigsaw puzzle.
Got a unicorn for the kid.
These are jigsaw puzzles, Dwayne?
Yeah,
okay.
Jigsaw puzzles.
I like
We went
tactile
all out
puzzles.
too, man. We got the mat that you can roll up with like this inflatable tube and the backing for it, so you can glue the back and hang them up on the wall when you're done.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, that's always the universal question you ask people that do jigsaw puzzles is, what do you do when you finish a puzzle? Some people are like, oh, I tear it up and I get ready to do another one. Or people are like, I like to, because I got the puzzle because it's got a beautiful poster image on it. I'll go ahead and we'll use the glue, and then we'll put the backing on it and frame it up. And that's always cool too. I like a puzzle that can be done over and over. I'm not a big fan of jigsaw puzzles. However, I like those tactile puzzles. I've shown them on the show before. I did my live stream the other day when I was doing my leather working, and I was playing around with a little Hanayama puzzle. Hanayama puzzles are really great puzzles. I think I'll do a couple more of those just for people that want to zone out and watch somebody do something because they're bored at home. I think it's what we need to be doing as entertainers right now is keep making content so people can watch something other than the news. And any news that's worth talking.
YouTube's my go-to. Man.
YouTube is on overdrive right now. The problem with YouTube is that they allow flat earthers to post up their stuff. So
they're having a heyday.
That's fun to watch too, though.
The flat earthers are having a heyday.
And can you believe Jimmy said it's like talking like flat Earth, fucking round Earth with me. That's how he honestly feels about our conversations. That I assume he thinks that he's the round earther and that I'm the flat earther. Like,
yes, I would assume that's what he thinks as well.
But I'm someone that will be able to, like, you give me a good reason and I'd be like, oh, okay, I agree with you. I'm willing to change my mind on something, and someone else is not willing to change his mind. No, that's what always was the creed of the flat earthers when we talk to them, that it's their way. And there's nothing you can say to get me to change my mind. It's like, dude, you can change my mind. I'm super open to everything. Like, I'm willing to change my mind about things if I feel like it's what I'm thinking is wrong, and I've done it a million times. I don't think that like what my side is wrong, and I think that's what he gets too. Jimmy's like, you don't see that your side is full of hate and racist and sexist and this and that everyists. And if you don't see that, you're blind.
Both sides are full of that.
Yeah. And, I see it on both sides. I just go with the politics on one side other than the other side. And, it's unfair that he would say that. As a magician, I sort of see all that stuff. Go ahead.
Just because you're on the left doesn't mean you're not an asshole. Just because you're on the right doesn't mean you are. You know?
Absolutely.
Just fucking everybody.
I always thought that we were both.
To be a dick.
We were both sort of. Center. I mean, we're both center, and that's what I thought he was. And he leans just a little bit more to the left, but at this point, he leans so far to the left that he says things like that he's always been against socialism. We were talking about of course I don't like socialism. Big Jim is not. He's a capitalist, and then now he's all about I don't know if he's about socialism, but that's who he'd rather have Bernie than Biden at this point. Which I think anybody would rather have Bernie than Biden. I don't think Bernie's got a chance, and I think this may be it for Bernie, Mr. Bernie Man. And I think about something funny too, getting into the politics. The Democrats got rid of the winner take all. That's the one thing about the Electoral College I wish they'd get rid of. I like the Electoral College, but I wish they got rid of winner take all, which means, let's say Texas has got 50 something, let's just say 50 for the sake of the argument, 50 electoral votes. If 49% goes one way and then the other half goes 51%, the one with the 51% doesn't get 25 votes. It gets all 50.
Kit and caboodle.
I don't like that. It would be such a closer race if you did this. Now, however, they got rid of that during their the Democrats got rid of that for their primaries. So primaries in some states and most of the states aren't winner take all because they thought it wasn't unfair. Now, if they had that in California, the winner take all, Bernie won California, which had like 400. If he got all 400 of those plus, he would be right now the front leader, and he would be winning tons of other things. Now it might have changed since we've got the other primaries, but as of what I was talking about, and like I said, I don't really keep up with the politics that much anymore. It's boring. I'm ready to talk about it in November or let's say October. I'm ready to talk about it. That's when it's going to get crazy.
I never kept up with politics until now, really, and I almost hardly keep up with politics now. Trump's fun to laugh at,
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't really care who's there because they're all going to do a shit job.
Yeah, man.
It's not the person in office. It's the fucking system that doesn't work.
Rob would say, I can just look in their face and tell that they really care. As for Democrats, I just look in their eyes and you can tell they really care. Oh my God!
You know what?
I don't really believe
I started a series on Netflix today that I can recommend people go and watch if they want to be entertained
What is
at the stupidity of people, and it's called Lion King.
Yes.
Oh, dude, I
It's
just
good,
started.
yes.
It's Tiger King.
Tiger King, yeah.
Tiger
Joe
King.
Exotic.
Dude, I watched
Yes.
maybe like 8
Hilarious.
episodes yesterday. So I sat and I watched 8 episodes, maybe even more.
You watched all of? You finished it?
I was close to finishing it.
Fuck, I think I'm 2 episodes in.
God, I'm 2 episodes in
Yeah.
right now, and it's fucking hilarious.
It's a good one, man.
Dude, and this is great stuff, man. This
You
Tiger
know what
King.
though? The guy, the main dude, what's
Exotic.
his name?
Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic. He reminds me of a guy that I used to work with from Oklahoma. Isn't that dude from Oklahoma too?
He's from Oklahoma.
I wonder if they're fucking related, because they look exactly alike.
Well, it's not. His name isn't Joe.
I think they
No,
are
his
in
name's
Oklahoma. You said
Will.
in Oklahoma?
Yeah, he said Oklahoma, but
He's from Oklahoma.
the guy he said
Joe
he's talking
Exotic.
about, right? Yeah, he says he's wondering if there's a relation, but
It's Oklahoma.
I don't think.
They look exactly alike.
If you watch more of the
Same
show,
mullet, same fucking Paul Tuttle mustache or
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan mustache or whatever.
the horseshoe, the Tuttle stash. No, they go into his background a lot more. His mom and like his dad. His dad said like, gave him a handshake and said like, hey, have a good
Oh,
life
yeah, I
or
saw
something
that
when he
part.
came out as gay. So
Yeah.
they did go in his background
You're
a
not
bit.
going to come to my funeral.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Promise me you're not going to come to my funeral. That is so fucking harsh, dude, to say to your kid. And I joke with Lexi, and I tell her like, if your kid ever comes out, I'm gonna disown him as a stepson. I'll say something stupid like that for fun. 'Cause
You,
I'm all about
pull a
joking
Kevin Hart
still.
and say you're going to hit him with a dollhouse.
Wrong kid died. Anyways, where are we at time wise?
About 7 minutes left.
7 minutes. Boy, time flies. We missed Jimmy, and I hope Jimmy will join us once again in the future, which I think he will. In
Yeah,
the
Jimmy will be
meantime,
back.
you guys know that we've got to keep making shows, and we think we can do something with FaceTime. I've got a Mac, and everybody else has got Macs. I don't know if he's able to connect to FaceTime on that, or even we can do Duo or some shit. We can still do this show. It just doesn't need to be I'd like to still talk politics, but sometimes it's hard to talk politics with someone, and I always thought it would be harder to talk
It's
to.
touchy.
It gets touchy, and I think
Especially if you take it seriously. Like, I could talk politics because I don't take it seriously.
right.
But if you take it seriously, it's hard to, especially with someone who doesn't have the exact same views as you, because you're a team player and all got your tribe. What the fuck ever. But
I guarantee if Trump tomorrow or even today comes out and says, "Listen, we should all fucking panic. It's time. Dude, this is the end of times. We are dead." Jimmy would be like, "Oh, finally, we're done. We're okay, you guys. We are totally
of course
okay."
not. Trump said it. It's a lie.
Yeah. And Trump says, "We've got this under control. We are going to be good. We got the best guys on it. The best guys, believe me." And
We're certainly all going to die.
And yeah, Jimmy's like, "We're certainly all dying." See, that's the thing. How many times have I talked about this TDS that this guy has? I'm sorry for talking shit again, Jimmy. It's not that, but maybe in all this you can see that you're probably being pretty irrational because Trump has said this, and it all stems probably down to that. And you think, okay, they're going to be people because they hear Trump. Trump's still saying we need to stay inside and everything, but for some reason you think the guys that like everyone that listens to Trump will go, okay, he says we should stay inside, we should go inside. But perhaps he thinks there's people out there going, no, we're not.
The best thing to do is not pay attention to what Trump says. Pay attention to what the people around Trump say.
Yeah.
Like the doctors and shit that know what the fuck they're talking about. Pay attention to what
during
those
this
guys
time
say.
and
when Trump's talking, watch the faces of the people standing behind him. That tells you the real information. When fucking Dr. Fauci is face palming, you know Trump's not saying anything that matters.
Yeah, a lot of people were citing him. He wasn't he on the Rogan? Was that not him?
Who? Fauci?
Fauci?
No, it was another doctor from
Who was the doctor that was up?
Michigan or something.
Oh, anyways, I gotta see how much time we've got left here. We got to press on the lock. I don't know your code. Anyways, Yeah, Dwayne, having Jimmy is a good thing to have. You know, he
It's a
will
great
be
thing to
missed.
have. He's fucking hilarious.
He will be missed. Well, I don't think he's trying to be hilarious right now, and that's exactly it.
No.
His sense of humor is
He doesn't
completely
feel
gone.
funny now.
And I think that's a problem. He has really low self-esteem. And I think you had said something in the chat real early on about him being lonely or something. He needs to get laid or something of that nature.
Dude, I'd be in a terrible mood if I was stuck in that apartment by myself too.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have to. Like, he can take every precaution, wear a mask out, put gloves on, wash his hands, and he could do something. If it, you don't have to. You don't have to rally yourself up to the point where you quit your radio program that you've been building for a while.
He can find a large empty space, get together with 9 of his closest friends, and stay 6 feet away from each other.
I just hope
That's
Trump
fucking
says
easy.
I hope Trump says that we're all gonna die, and he will calm the fuck down, because we all know what he would do if he said that. Or he might just be like, "Holy fuck, he's finally right," and no, he would never say that.
He's
He would do
finally
the opposite.
telling the truth. We are all gonna die.
Yeah, he may do that.
Yes, we are. We are all gonna die.
We are gonna die, and we should just have fun while we're here. Jeez, what can you do? I think he's overcompensating by trying to be overly empathetic towards other things. He'll say things. I'll say. Oh God, I don't want to get into that. Anyways, we've only got a few minutes here.
Here's where we're at. All we can do is fucking ride this thing out and make the best of what's left of the fucking world when it's over. That's it.
Yeah.
All we can do.
Yeah, well, it's not the end of the world. It's just right now. And I think he's pissed too how the Trump administration's handling things. It's like, of course, what is new? And we're living in a world where I've seen memes where people go, they wake up every day to see how fucked up the world got or something. Like, they have no confidence.
The biggest concern right now is where we're going to be at financially when all this shit is over. And you know it, and I know it. The biggest thing that fucks with people's heads is fucking money.
Yeah.
So
we'll be back.
Not knowing what kind of condition we're going to be in is stressful. But
yeah, totally.
Keep in mind, we still are the fucking best country on the planet. We're going to come back from this bullshit.
Yeah, we are going to come back from this shit. And thank goodness that we closed up, borders. And, Italy didn't do that. And they got a huge, they got it big time, And they're a big social style. So that's why we were trying to practice social distancing. I suggest you stay away from old people in general, just in case you have symptoms.
Man. I've been socially distant all my fucking life. This is fine.
Yeah, me too. I mean, the only real social things I do is go to work and do this podcast every week. That's about it. Anyways, we got to get going. We got 30 seconds left on this broadcast. And
all right, boys.
We will be back next week. I don't know when. I think we'll record before so that we can get it on Wednesday. But either way, for Dwayne, the Rock Primo, for Brandon, the Hard Hat Mitchell, I'm Los, saying you guys are not going to die. That's right. Thank you guys for watching. EmergencyExitPodcast.com. All right.
Stream is still up, but I just kept recording.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and throw this off. And Dwayne, you've been great. If we'll talk to you.
Yeah, guys.
Let's go ahead and just have you on. Maybe we can talk to Kyle. I think Kyle wanted to get in on this, so let's just try to have people on in the meantime, and hopefully that'll inspire Jimmy to come back and want to talk to us. And I think even if we do the show and he needs to be sitting in a little box in the corner and he's Skyping us, we can make that happen. I think that's what he's most scared about, and he's scared about that. He's fine with talking. I mean, obviously he called into the show and he's down to talk, but he's scared, man. And we can get him in his little bubble or something. Someone send him some 1-800-FLOWERS.
What we do is we'll have let's do 3 or 4 people and just have Jimmy there with a flag so he can throw it in whenever he feels triggered.
I don't
and
think
then we can change topic.
I don't think we need anything like that. Anyways,
like you're thinking though.
Let's get off the air. Thank you guys for watching the live stream. If you guys want to follow us on Twitter, it's EMEXPod, or just check us out on our website, which we haven't updated in forever.
No.
One of these days we will. It's emergencyexitpodcast.com. I think during this time of uncertainty, we could definitely get that working. I need to work on my own website at home called AmericanMustacheLeatherworks.com. Dwayne, you have any plugs?
No.
No, okay. And
Nothing.
then Brandon, no plugs. All right, so see you guys next time. Bye.